Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. There's 3 tools that I used when I began my fitness journey. I'm going to tell you about them. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast and owner of PutYourselfFirst.com, and I'm a health and fitness coach that loves to reach out, help people find their healthy formula, and just lead a happy, fulfilling life. And thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 tools that I used when I first started my official fitness journey. Now, just to go back, I was kind of this little seasonal dabbler within going to a gym. I actually think I had a gym membership for 1 year, and I probably spent about 3 or 4 months trying to get out of that contract. I just didn't go. I did for whatever reason. I don't know if I was intimidated. I don't know if it was just the drive across town to go to it, if it was just the amount of time it took to get there, get dressed, and then get the workout in and shower and all that stuff. I don't know. But anyway, so when I decided to commit seriously, there were 3 tools that I decided to use. And I'm just going to tell you about them, show you them right now, and then I will just tell you how I use them. One is just a simple old resistance band. Now, I probably should be on more of a, for those of you on video, being able to show what this is, but just kind of your typical resistance band. They're pretty popular now. I don't know how they were when I first started, if they were common, but you can go into just about any sporting goods and see them. The second one, I found that this resistance band was necessary because I was not going to go out and buy a set of weights. Heck, I didn't even know if I was going to commit to the workouts. I knew I was determined enough, but there have been enough failures in the past that, it's kind of like giving myself out. So a resistance band seemed like a thing to do. The other one is because I have wrist issues, and I knew that I found that as I was doing push-ups as part of my program, I went out and got some push-up stands. Now, these are not the ones that I started using. I think these are from Perfect Push-Up or something like that. And I absolutely, most of the time, I use Tony Horton's power stands. But back in the day, I think I bought my pretty flimsy but doable push-up bars there. And the reason for it is I have a wrist issue with one of my wrists. And what ended up happening is because I had to compensate for one wrist, and I would bridge up my hand in a certain angle, I would just do that with my other hand to mirror it. And it wasn't the best way to go, but the push-up stands angled my wrist a little bit differently and made it more possible. The other thing that I did was I found a plan, an actual system to follow, which is not what I was getting when I was going to a gym. Yes, somebody kind of gave me a routine to start, but, I kind of quickly got, tried to just do things on my own, and then I would go to the free weight section and try to guess my way around there. And there wasn't, when I was doing this, there wasn't a lot of access to internet stuff. I don't even know if the internet stuff was around when I was first starting, but just having access to those resources. So you would resort to either magazines or books from the library to do some things. So the plan that I followed was one that it made sense to me. It was a program called Power 90. And here I was on like my second or third bowl of cereal about 4:30 in the morning, and an infomercial comes on. I think probably a lot of you can relate to that. And you see these people getting fit, doing something that doesn't seem like some sort of weird way out there gadget. Although I did think this resistance band was, a little bit out of my comfort zone, because it just seemed like, oh gosh, what's that weird thing, stretchy thing. But I just watched people do these moves. The guy, Tony Horton, just seemed like a straightforward, common sense guy that could be your neighbor, but he was helping people get results. And so by having a plan, I knew that everything was going to be laid out for me, and I didn't have to question it. And didn't have to guess my way around what I was doing. Here's one thing: I had gone and bought, I think from J.C. Penney, a home gym of some sort. It had plates and it had kind of like the Bowflex thing, but a very, very generic, non-functioning version of one. And it came with a guidebook, but it just showed you how to do curls, how to do lat pulls, how to do leg curls and leg presses and stuff like that. But it didn't tell you what to do when. And that's what I wanted a trainer in my house. There were times I was getting so frustrated with my health and fitness. I'm like, oh, what if I just checked into one of those fat camps for like 2 months, just went away for a summer break and just came back totally fit and totally enlightened, etc. Well, that never happened. So after all these excuses and putting things off and overthinking things, I decided, you know what? I'm going to take the thinking part out of it and just do what this person says on the videos. Now, I had bought workout videos in the past, but they were just one that was just for your abs or one that was just for your legs, but it never gave you a system on when to do those, what days. So you just kind of pick and go, well, do I feel like this today? No, I don't feel like that. Most of the time we wake up and we never feel like exercising, right? But for this, I just said, I see this person doing shoulder presses or arm curls or tricep kickbacks or some shoulder flies or chest presses, all with this little band here. And I do know, for some of you out there saying, you know what, there's a lot of workouts out there that you can do without body weight or with just body weight, without the equipment. Yeah, I get that. But this is where I began. This is where what was on the table at the time. And I know that there were step programs out there, etc. But once again, I wanted a trainer that I resonated with, and I wanted to be able to do it just in about a half hour a day. Probably wasn't even that long. And I wanted to be able to do it in the privacy of my own home so that I didn't have to pay a membership. And if I failed, so be it. That's the way it was. As a matter of fact, I did fail at it because I tried to tweak it and do my own thing. I didn't follow the plan. And so I didn't get results. And so when I committed to just following a plan, I'm just going to do what this dude says on the TV, even though I may not agree with it, or I may not want to do it, or I may be humbled by he says to do 3 different push-ups, 7 reps each, and I can only do 2. But I was doing my best. And I was surprised that in time, week after week, how much stronger I got and how much my waistline was shrinking. My chest was getting a little more developed. My arms were getting stronger. Now, I wasn't getting huge biceps or anything like that, but I was just feeling better. And it really surprised me. Now, not all of the moves required a resistance band. Not all of the moves required push-up stands. But that's where I started with. I think the most important thing was me showing up and having the plan in front of me. And what we have now today with all of the different, there's a lot of workouts out there that you can go and get on YouTube or go on other websites. But do they have a plan? Will they lay out what workouts to do each day and then help you progress and advance to new levels? There's a lot out there. I know that within Beachbody On Demand, we've got the workout programs that lay that out, and I think that's why Beachbody really excels out there, because you find a trainer that you can resonate with. you find a workout program that fits within your time budget. You can find a program that fits the equipment and the budget that you have. I mean, I think on demand for like just a year is only $99. And I think of my closet that has the several DVDs and VHS tapes that I bought over the years. I bet you I've spent probably over $5,000, but that's okay. We're talking about 14, 15 years time frame here. No, even longer, 16 years a time frame. So over that time, yes, I've invested more in different equipment, in different programs to challenge myself, to push myself. But when you're starting, you can start simple. It wasn't until I think it was in my second round that I went out and said, you know what, I'm going to buy a set of 20-pound dumbbells and see if that makes a difference. Sure enough, it did. And then along the way, that P90X program came out. Then I went all in. I got the mat. I got the pull-up tower. I went and got a bunch of set of different dumbbells. I got a yoga block, just different things, because I was at a point where I was ready to not only invest in myself, but to advance myself and progress my fitness a little bit more. And that required a little bit extra equipment. Yes, Insanity then came out later, and you don't need equipment on there. But you know what? If Insanity came out and was on the table when I first started, I probably wouldn't have bought that. I would have probably looked at it and went, that's crazy. Now, I know a lot of you diehard crazy fans out there that's what you started with. That's what you resonated with, and that's way cool. That's what I'm saying. There's something for everybody out there. But for a majority of people that were just out of shape and not ready to take on any sort of program whatsoever, Power 90 was a thing for me. Now it's called P90. Tony's revamped it, still use the resistance band, has a little door hook thing that you can attach the resistance band to. He also has like a little 10-minute program that you got a little belt loop that you can use the resistance band on just to do different moves, different exercises, challenge the muscles a little bit different. But I just wanted to share with you those three things that I thought were really pretty vital in how I got started. With the trainer and the plan, that was probably number one. And then these little resistance band were number two. I just threw in the push-up stands only because I needed something. If I could have done it without the push-up stands, it would have just been, my wrist would have been bending awkward, and it just made things easier for me. You may not be there, and you can perfectly do a push-up the way they're supposed to be done. So anyway, just think about it. Where are you at? You may be already in the middle of a fitness program, but if you're searching for something and you're wondering, what is that trainer that's going to resonate with me, or what is that program that's going to help me commit and continue this as a lifelong journey? Because that's one thing I quickly realized. It wasn't just 90 days, because I tried to stop after 90 days, and guess what? You're going back to old habits. You're getting fatter. The clothing doesn't fit anymore, that sort of thing. So it is lifelong habits, and I think a lot of times people will do like 21-day fix, very basic, straightforward program, but then they stop after 21 days, and they got killer results. It's like, why? Don't stop unless you're going to advance into a new program or a new workout. A lot of times people will use these programs to do other things. They become downhill skiers. They go on, they're doing ski patrol. They're doing rock climbing. They're running marathons. They're doing triathlons. They're doing things that they started, and then they're advancing and going into other things that they didn't think that they could. That's really cool. So if you're at that spot, you could start very, very simple. 10, 20, 30-minute workouts, follow a plan. And if you have questions on that, you can email me, perrytinsley@gmail.com. We can talk about what will be your healthy formula to get the results that you're wanting, so you could advance yourself and live that healthy, fulfilling life. That's all I have for this week. I thank you so much for joining me. And like I said, I was on the video version. There is an audio version for those of you listening that you can go into iTunes or into your podcast app. You can get both. Just do a search for Power Blast Podcast and it's right there. And if you're in the app or into iTunes, then please give an honest rating and review. It really help a lot of people. If you found this valuable, please share it. I'd so appreciate it. You absolutely rock, my friend. And remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.